Many of you know my beautiful mother, Betsy Harbin. She taught school here locally for 46 years. She retired a few years ago, and now at 84 years of age, she lives with us. I've gotten to watch that transition through these retirement years. Her body is much older, her social circle is much smaller, and it got me thinking, I will be in that position someday. You know, I watched my father suffer through type 2 diabetes, emphysema, and Parkinson's. And I think it's something that all of us have to wonder about. What will our lives be like if we live that long? Some of us fear the physical and mental breakdown. Others of us worry, will we have enough money? And others just worry, what will happen to me when I stop working? Will I have something to do? Well, fortunately, I got to talk with a person whose team has taken on aging. In fact, they don't believe in growing older. They believe in growing bolder.
Well, I'm Bill Shafer, and for 27 years, I worked for WESH TV in Orlando. And there was a weird thing that would happen. They would bring focus groups in to decide if they were covering the right stories, if they were handling things well, or who people liked and who they didn't. And the first question they would ask these people is, how old are you? And if you were over 54, they would say, thank you, you're not necessary. Because they were focused on the 18 to 54-year-old age group. And we sat down and thought, well, wait a minute, who watches the news? It's mostly people who are 50 and above. And then we started watching the commercials that are on the news. It's for the neighborhood restaurant, the auto dealer. Who's going out and buying dinners? Who's buying new cars? It's people who are 50 and over for the most part. So what a missed opportunity to reach the audience that wants your product. So Mark Middleton had the idea to start an entire television station, radio station, media company that would reinvent and redefine aging. And it's called Growing Bolder. And it's really turned out to be an empowering and inspiring venture that gets people to look at aging and their own lives in a whole different way.
So I'm a regular viewer of Growing Bolder, and many of the people that they feature, whether it is a 5-time cancer survivor or a 100-year-old that just set a new world record in the pool, they all seem to have very similar personality traits. And so I asked Bill, is this something you're just born with?
I think those are characteristics that anybody can develop, because it's not about your skill set, it's about your state of mind. It's about your attitude. It's about being fearless. It's about, and I shouldn't say it that way. We all are afraid. But don't let fear stop you, because sometimes fear is telling you that's where the adventure is. So no, you don't have to be born with the ability to persevere, to charge through and to live a great life. You need to develop the mindset of someone who's curious, who's anxious for new adventures, who's not afraid to fail, because failure is part of the learning process. And when that happens, the whole world opens up. Your life can be anything you want it to be. You know, it used to be when you hit retirement age, you sat in the chair, you watched reruns of Andy Griffith, and you waited to go. These days, you could have your 60s, your 70s, your 80s. There are people in their 90s that are going on adventure vacations, that are starting businesses, that are volunteering their time, that are finding a sense of purpose. A sense of purpose. Wow, that's a huge thing in life. That can change the way you look at everything. To find a place where you fit, to feel necessary, to feel like you're contributing to something, especially when it's helping other people. Boy, that's what makes life worth living. And we all have the opportunity to do that, to find a way to do that. And it's just by doing a little bit of soul searching, doing a little bit of thinking and planning, not being afraid to fail, move forward and take step by step by step and look around and see where you are.
They've done so many incredible stories at Growing Bolder, each one very inspirational in its own way. But I asked Bill if there was one that he personally found as motivation for himself.
Jonathan Cain, the keyboard player from the band Journey. He lives in Central Florida. We do a lot of stories on musicians, rock stars, actors, celebrities, because the impression is that, wow, they've had an easy life. They've got unlimited funds. I bet you they can live 100 years easy. And you listen to them talk and you find out that their lives are kind of a compressed version of all of ours. Sometimes they'll peak very early in their 20s and they'll zoom to the highest heights. They'll reach all their dreams, and then by 30, they've washed out. They kind of don't know who they are anymore, or they're not doing what they did. The limousines are gone, the hotels are gone, the fame is gone. So they're faced with, what do I do now? Jonathan Cain went through a lot. He almost drowned when he was 3 or 4 years old. Stopped breathing. A bystander had to fish him out of a lake and give him CPR. When he was in 6th grade, his school caught fire in Chicago. 100 students died, and he survived. He learned early that out of pain, something new is born, which is an interesting way to look at your life. Out of pain, something new is born. It's not that pain is an opportunity, but pain offers a chance for us to re-examine, for us to appreciate, for us to define and move forward.
Life certainly does have ups and downs. Like many of you, I have lost loved ones. My father, my older brother. And the idea that pain can bring about something new certainly resonates. You know, I asked Bill, after interviewing countless people that have made their way through tough times and through life, is there just one tip he can give to us as we grow older?
Well, if there's one tip I could offer for how to really live a good life for as long as possible, it's that we are all going to have things happen to us that sort of knock us off our axis, that can be life-changing at a moment's notice. So the things you've got to figure out how to do is be resilient and recover. Now, both of those things you think, well, I've done that before. I mean, there's really not much to that, but there is. Because we kind of grow up thinking that recovery is a passive action. That, well, if I have a headache, I'm just going to go ahead and lay down for a while and I'll feel better. Or if my knee hurts, I'm just going to stay off it for a while. But that doesn't work. You've got to fight to recover. Recovery is an active process. You have to figure out what you can do to strengthen your knees, your back, your mind, your heart. Things happen that you don't expect, and they hurt. And people say, well, time is a great healer. But we don't have a lot of time. If your car has a flat tire, you can't put it in the garage and wait for it to be unflat. You gotta fix it. Don't be afraid to fix yourself. We all have that inner strength. Get to it. Be active about it. Be intentional about it. Recover and move forward. Don't dwell. Learn and propel.
Recover and move forward. Get started fixing yourself. Wise words indeed. I want to thank Bill and Mark Middleton and the whole gang at Growing Bolder for providing a roadmap for every one of us. Whether we're facing hardship, aging, sickness, they give us a little bit of inspiration. Thank you guys. You know, this whole video series is leading up to my newest art exhibit, which is called Gourds and Monsters. And while the art itself will feature literary characters from Gothic fiction, and I'm also teaming with Jim Hobart, who is a fabulous photographer, and Kelly Graham, who is an atelier, a costumer, we are going to focus on some of the fun of the season. But this video series here was focusing on the real monsters, the things that we are actually facing and have to deal with in our everyday lives. Now, once again, all of this is benefiting Second Harvest Food Bank. A portion of the sales will go directly to the food bank to help provide meals for our neighbors who are facing a very real monster, and that is hunger. They deliver 300,000 meals daily, so it's such a worthy cause. So I hope you will join us at the art exhibit. It opens October 20th, where maybe you will help us defeat some of these monsters we are facing.